Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Adventure Elliot here from Malaga, Spain. And I haven't uploaded in a while, and it's because I've been doing a lot of reflection lately, a lot of thinking about my last 2.5 years living here in Spain through the pandemic and all. Man, my life has changed a lot for the better, and so I thought that I would come up with a list of 10 really well thought out reasons as to why I, as a US citizen, immigrated from the United States to Spain, and why these reasons might resonate with you watching, and why this might be useful to people thinking of leaving the United States to move to another continent like Central or South America or Europe. And so join me on a walk to the beautiful city of Malaga as I give you guys 10 reasons that I left the United States and why I might never go back, at least permanently, that is. We'll see. I don't want to say never because never say never, she says, because I'm not one of those people that want to turn in my US passport, which is, I think, becoming more popular these days. If you guys watch the channel Nomad Capitalist, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm not one of those guys. I'm always going to value my US citizenship, and at the same time value the opportunities that our passport gives us to have other opportunities abroad, such as living and traveling throughout the world, depending on your situation. So let's go. Okay, so let's get started with number 10, and that's healthcare, right? Healthcare. A lot of people would put this way up on the list, like number 1, but I'm 28 years old, so I haven't had any scares yet, knock on wood, but it's one of those things that I just go, wow. I listen to stories back home from family and friends of things that have happened with healthcare, and I never had any situation where I had to take an ambulance or had to go to the hospital emergency room in my life. I'm really lucky that way. So here, if you pay into the system, if you are a resident on a certain type of visa, residency, or you're a citizen, you pay taxes and you get complete full coverage healthcare. You're never gonna have to pay 1,000 euros to get emergency room visit or more than that. And additionally, if you decide to go the private route, I have a friend in Madrid who's 60 years old, and I think he pays around 120 euros per month for full coverage. Now, I'm not an expert on health insurance, but we all know the situation in the United States is horrible. I wouldn't wish anybody to be financially ruined by something like a broken leg or a freak accident that you hear about all the time, which is just a tragedy, quite frankly. And that just doesn't happen here in Europe. It doesn't happen even in Latin America. In Latin America, you can pay out of pocket and get medical care there for significantly more cheaper. That's why there's a thing such as medical tourism. But enough about that. Let's go on to reason number 9. All right, the 9th reason, thinking back why I left the US, is because I wanted to become more of a minimalist, which I have done, and it's probably one of the most freeing, relaxing, stress-free feelings you can have. In fact, when I sold my car, I was living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin before. I sold my car, I sold a lot of my belongings, I threw a lot of stuff out, and I haven't looked back, and I don't think I'll ever try to go back to that situation where you just keep accumulating materials that really don't mean anything. Of course, many of our things can be stored online now. It's always good to have a few sentimental things, but really, once you get past that connection to things that don't mean anything, you can really move forward stress-free in your life. And so minimalism is number 9 on the list. The 8th reason I decided to move abroad, in particular Spain, was to gain a skill. And in this case, the particular skill was to learn Spanish, well, to improve my Spanish, and I've definitely improved it a ton. You definitely need, more than like 6 months in a country immersed to be able to get to a level where you really, can get what you want out of the language. And in my case, I wanted to be able to gain the skill of speaking Spanish, writing Spanish, so that I could move back to the United States and use it in a job setting. And at this point, I'm definitely at that level. I use it in my job now, but this could be applied to anything. It doesn't have to be a language. It could be something like, all right, I have to become a digital nomad to survive. What skills do I need to learn in order to survive? Because this isn't your country that you're moving to. You have to learn and have a means to survive. You're not going to be able to get a job over a local, especially without a work permit. And so how are you going to provide value and earn money? So you're going to be forced to learn a skill. And this was originally like the top reason I chose to move to Spain, was to be here for a year, learn the language. I mean, actually improve the language. I already knew Spanish a little bit. And so yeah, this is a big reason. And in terms of learning a skill, you know, I couldn't improve my Spanish to the level it is by living in Wisconsin. I could practice online with some friends I had in school, but you just can't take the next step with something. It's like you want to become a plumber or a welder, but you're not going to weld to do that. How are you supposed to learn? You can't learn by the books. You have to come, put yourself in the situation, find yourself in difficult situations, and see what happens. And if you progress, well, great for you. And if not, you got to find a different way. So learning a skill is one of the reasons I came here. And you know, I could have went to Mexico, Central and South America to do this as well, even in a United States city, but it wouldn't be the same. And also, if you go to a country in South or Central America, what are your work options? You're more limited than if you find a way to come to Europe or to Spain. And I'll touch on that later. So the 7th reason is climate. Well, Spain is a Mediterranean climate, and for those who move to places like Mexico or Colombia, it's obvious that the climate is better year-round than most of the United States. You know, I'm from Wisconsin. I got sick of the winters that just, yeah, the winters were rough. You guys all know what northern United States is like. And you know, well, you could say, well, why don't you move to Florida or Texas or California? And the cost of living obviously is much too high there, and there's other things that many people, there's other reasons that one would not want to go to Florida for example. So Spain, Central and South America, obviously climate is super important for many people who leave the United States. And I mean, here in Spain, here in the southern Costa del Sol, we're in Malaga, Spain, the climate is phenomenal year-round. We do get some cold days, you know, like lows of 50, 45. Madrid is a lot colder, actually. I lived there for 2 years. But in general, the climate is significantly better. I can be outdoors all year round, get exercise, go to the beach, even if I'm not gonna swim, and just kind of enjoy the well-rounded climate that we have here in Spain. And the same can be said if you were in Central or South America, which is another place that I would like to live, with the Spanish, that is. So reason number 6, you guys, is, well, when you live abroad and you have access to the whole continent of Europe, it's kind of like one big perpetual travel experience. And you live here, but you feel like you're sort of on vacation. And of course that novelty eventually wears off. But even after 2.5 years, I've traveled all around Spain. You can see my channel, I have hundreds of videos here, also in other countries. And you know, just like that non-stop wanderlust adventure exploration just never goes away. And you know, I got that as a kid, taking road trips to Florida. And more importantly, my first trip out of the US was in 2013, backpacking in Mexico. Just a young little 18-year-old, didn't know what I was doing, but it really opened my eyes. And I found out that, man, this ordinary life of never leaving the place you're born is just not for me. And so one very important reason of living abroad is everything's a new experience. It's just a non-stop travel experience that never ends. The novelty might wear off, but it hasn't so far for me. And if it does, I'm still learning new things. I'm still experiencing new things, learning new skills. And not everybody's gonna have that same experience, but at least for me, that's how it's gone. All right, so the 5th reason maybe might not apply to Latin America, but it definitely applies to here in Europe, and in particular Spain, and that is the infrastructure, the walkability, the way that cities are made. The public transport is just top notch. Everything is taken care of. You see people are out walking, enjoying their lives. There's restaurants to eat. The cities are designed for you to go out, explore, to walk, to be in contact with humans. You know, this could be like the #1 reason, but for me, it's number 5, which tells you something. So when I go back to the United States, I was in Milwaukee, Minneapolis, which quite frankly, both are really nice cities. I like them. Eau Claire, Wisconsin as well. But how can you have a downtown city like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the streets are completely empty? I mean, everything is so spread out. There's not these bike paths everywhere, and there's not people out socializing, even in the summer. I mean, yes, there are, but not to this level that if you were to come to Europe, you would see what the social life and social scene is like here as a result of the infrastructure that really just puts the US to shame, at least from a European standpoint. Now, Latin America, you're gonna run into infrastructure problems. You're still gonna have okay public transport, but the social scene in the United States, the social scene in Latin America is much better because even the cities there are more built and designed for the street life to happen. However, they obviously don't do a great job maintaining their roads, you know, for many reasons that we're not gonna get into this video, but yeah, just needless to say, the infrastructure here in the country of Spain and the most of Europe is, I mean, mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing, and I didn't even think of it until I moved here. And that was just like, wow, a huge eye-opener for me, the infrastructure.
I want to take a moment to mention my good friend Colin up in Ireland, who sends me his homemade and organic beard products like beard oil, beard balm, and beard butter. Now, I use these products on a daily basis, and they really do help me with maintaining a soft, moisturized, and clean beard. One of the cool things is the products contain natural ingredients like peppermint, tea tree, and lavender, which just gives it a natural touch that has really grown on me as I continue to use it. You can check out his website by clicking on the link in the description of all my videos. All right, back to the video.
The 4th reason I decided to immigrate was, well, check this out real quick. Roman theater and Moorish ruins. The 4th reason is social life. Now, what you see here with the pedestrians is related to the infrastructure, related to the culture, but this is, you guys, this is every day. This is how life is here every day, and not just in a touristic city, even in small towns in Spain. And it's the same way in most of Central and South America, and I think Southeast Asia. But the social life encourages people to go out on the street, to live life on the street, to form relationships. You could go play outside as a kid, play sports, go play football in the lot, soccer that is, whatever sport you might like, basketball. That is the culture here and many other places that doesn't exist in the suburban dystopia that quite frankly is the United States, the majority of the United States. My dad used to tell me, Elliot, I'm from a small town in Wisconsin, go play outside, go find some kids on the block. When I was a kid in Duluth, Minnesota, I would play baseball in the back street. Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't exist in the United States. Maybe in a few cities it does, but being able to go outside and go find some kids on the block to play baseball like the movie Sandlot just is not how it works anymore. But I can tell you for sure here in 2022, what you see here is real. And there's kids that go out to the alleyway, their parents let them go out alone, and they play sports. They make friends, they hang out at the local square, the local plaza. The social life here is immensely better, and it's just like an eye-opener for me and for anyone that visits. And you'll notice that if you go to places like Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia, the same thing. The social life, the street life is amazing. And on that note of the social scene, we have the food culture, which is to eat outdoors here year-round, and not just in the southern coast of Spain, but the majority of the country and Mediterranean. And so the eating out social aspect is another really fun part about living here. You can see the tables everywhere. Now, between 2 and 3 p.m., which is the lunch hour here, there's way more people. Now it's like almost 5 p.m. So we're getting into siesta time. And another aspect of the social scene and social culture here is, hiya, she's probably from the UK, I know that's a UK thing, is the dating scene, the dating life. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that back when I was single, when I first moved here the first year, my dating life in Madrid was amazing, with it being like an international city. Of course, speaking Spanish helps. Whether you go here to Spain, Central or South America, that will be a game changer. But the dating life is great. There's so many cool date ideas. There's lots of people. There's just so many people that are looking to date and have a good time. And I really think one of the things that makes dating life good here in Spain is people's priorities and where they are. And it just seemed like more natural to me here in Europe. But that's my experience. But I know that I have friends who have moved to Central and South America, and they said the same thing. The dating life there is night and day better than in the United States. So that's obviously very important. And you know, I met my long-term girlfriend here. We're in a good, healthy, and happy relationship of over 2 years now, and it's been great. It's been great. So yeah, if you come to move abroad, you just might meet the love of your life. I also want to mention that I literally met my girlfriend at the grocery store, in the supermarket, just by being polite and friendly and speaking to her. And I mean, it's really as simple as that. Take care of yourself. You can meet people in public, you know, at the mall, out on the street, in the park, whatever. Just be friendly, and yeah, that's just another element of the social life. No online dating. I didn't have to do it, and it's quite frankly one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. All right, the third reason, and this is one of the top reasons, and that is of course the cost of living here and the spending cycle. So as you guys know, there's a big problem with cost of living being ridiculously high, and it's only going up every month in the United States. It's also going up here and around the world. But more importantly is that spending cycle in the United States. And what I mean is, just to survive, you know, you got to have a car. Things cost more. It's so easy to get caught in that debt trap, whether it be from school, whether it be from the priorities that people have, and using credit to support those habits. Everything just seems to cost money, and you try to budget and save money, but it's hard in the United States. And so what happens is you become stuck in a job where you are just working and working and working, and you're missing out on the things that you see in this video that are part of this list of 10 reasons as to why I immigrated, such as social life. And that debt trap, that cycle of spending is just, it just takes you, and it's just so hard to get out of it, because the lifestyle there just perpetuates that spending cycle. I remember I was back in the US in Milwaukee. You know, we go out to breakfast with my friend, and a breakfast, like a waffle, some eggs, a coffee, and orange juice. Between the two of us, it cost $55. I almost like puked up the food because it was just ridiculously expensive. And here, I'm going out for breakfast for 2 or 3 euros, right? I mean, that's just one example of the spending cycle. And here, this is related to minimalism. I live a more minimalistic lifestyle. I don't have a car. And so my cost of living, rent-wise, food-wise, habits-wise, is just overall much lower. And something else I want to add is that when you're forced to survive because you're on your own, you're in a different country, you don't have other people to rely on, you can't go home to your parents, for example, well, you learn how to budget your money better because, yeah, you're across the ocean in a different place. So that is a big reason. Number 3, cost of living and the spending cycle. All right, so the second reason is actually quite interesting, and it's, you know, sort of a result of being raised and socialized in the United States, and our culture in the United States makes this happen, and that is, simply put, individualism. What do I mean by that? Well, in the United States, you know, we're socialized to have to move out and find our life after we turn 18 and graduate high school. And for some reasons that's good, and for some reasons I don't think that is good. But for example, I can tell you here in Spain and throughout Latin America, that's not a thing. People live with their parents sometimes until they're 30 years old and they get married, and that's not a stretch. But what that does in the United States is that really challenges you to figure your life out fast, sometimes too fast, but it does challenge you to, you know, find what you have to do in life and quite frankly just survive, you know. But on the other hand, that enables me to not have fear, to do what I'm doing, to take the leap of faith and to move abroad. Whereas in some places, if you have the commodities of living with your parents, not having to pay rent or food, that life might be a little bit too easy. And so I see it as both good and bad, and I see this individualism as a reason that I'm here. And you know, I'm here, I took the leap of faith because being raised in the United States teaches you that. And it's really not that much different than saying, hey, mom, dad, I graduated college, I got a job in New York, I'm moving to New York City, I'm moving to LA, you know, I'm gonna go chase my dreams. That is what the United States does to us. And so it is good. But, you know, on the other hand, it can lead to a lot of problems. It can lead to loneliness and depression, a feeling of failure among many young people, especially now in the United States. We have this thing called nihilism. And that is a big problem with the younger generations in the United States. And I don't think that baby boomers would understand that. So anyways, individualism is definitely a reason as to why I'm here living my life in this beautiful city. And by the way, before this, I lived in Madrid for 2 years, and I've been here for 6 months with my girlfriend. Now, finally, we're at number one. I deem this as the most important reason and most kind of profound reason, and that is figuring your life out, knowing what you want. And so basically moving abroad as a younger person or an older person is an experiment, right? It's about living in the moment. It's about seizing the opportunity, enjoying life on a daily basis, because oftentimes when you get caught in the rat race, the spending cycle, the work and labor force in the United States, you often forget those things and years pass you by. You miss out on great opportunities and skills that you could have learned and experiences that when you go to your grave, you know, that's what you carry with you. So finding my life has been a lot easier, and figuring out what I like, what I don't like as a result of moving here. And you know, I started to have those ideas back when I first started traveling abroad in 2013 as a freshman in college. Throughout my college career and after college, I was traveling to Colombia, to Costa Rica, back and forth before finally I decided, hey guys, I'm gonna come to Spain because I found a teaching program called Auxiliares de Inglés, Conversation Assistants, and that's how I'm here. I'm on a student visa. I earn money on a monthly basis, not a lot. You guys can look it up online, but I supplement that with YouTube income. You know, my life has changed a lot here. I started this channel because I wanted to share things like this with you guys. As a result of living in Spain and having these profound life experiences, and now, you know, if I question what is my future, I learn to take it more in stride and not have these existential crises that a lot of young people have. And you know, I found a wonderful girlfriend here. I've made connections. I've immensely improved my Spanish. I figured out like what is the meaning of life for me and what makes me happy, what doesn't make me happy. And in the United States, that was just a cloudy notion. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the United States. And you know, we still don't know everything we want to do. You know, some people never figure it out, but I definitely have a better idea, and that's my story. Perhaps many of you resonate with that same thing in different circumstances, you know, different countries. I know people who moved to Colombia. I know people who moved to Mexico, young folk who are digital nomading, and they like it, you know, but some of them are lonely as well. So it's just really a matter of perspective based on individual basis for each and every person. So if you guys like this video, please like, leave me comments with questions. I want to get to you guys and answer everything I can. And thanks for watching. And so I'll see you guys in another video. Let me know what other things you would like to know based off of this video. And so I'll see you guys in the next video. Adventure Elliot, peacing out from sunny, beautiful, warm, Mediterranean Malaga, Spain. Hasta luego.